Ladies, let me talk to you today about something that keeps a whole lot of y'all up at night. Why men lust first and love later. Now, I ain't here to bash men. I'm a man myself, but I'm going to give it to you straight, because if nobody tells you the truth, how are you going to know how to play the game? And believe me, this ice a game, and it's got rules. See, when a man sees a woman, the first reaction isn't spiritual, it's visual. Men are wired to notice what's in front of them, the curves, the smile, the confidence. That's lust. But here's the deal: lust gets a man in the door. Love decides if he's staying. A man may approach you because of your body, but he'll stay because of your value. That's where the power shifts. And women, you hold more power than you think. But if you don't understand the difference between how a man starts and how he grows, you'll confuse lust for love and end up heartbroken. Let me break this down for you. Love takes time. Lust doesn't need a reason. Love needs investment. Lust just needs opportunity. So stop handing out lifetime passes to men who only bought a day ticket. You can't stop a man from lusting. That's human. But you can control what he learns to love about you, your mind, your strength, your spirit, your ambition, your softness, your boundaries. So don't confuse being wanted with being valued. There's a difference. Lust says, I want you now. Love says, I want to grow with you forever. And girl, if you ain't got a man trying to build something with you, all you've got is a visitor, not a resident. When a man first lays eyes on a woman, his reaction is not rooted in emotion. It's rooted in instinct. It's visual. He notices how you look, how you walk, how you carry yourself. It's the hair, the curves, the smile. The confidence. This ain't something he plans. It just happens. His eyes connect before his heart even checks in. That initial moment of attraction is what we call lust. It's quick, it's strong, and let's be honest, it doesn't need any deep conversation. It's driven by sight, not soul. Lust is like a spark. It lights up fast, but it burns out just as quickly if there's nothing to fuel it. That's why you can't confuse a man's intense interest in your appearance for something deeper. Just because he compliments your looks, texts you at midnight, or stares a little too long doesn't mean he's trying to build something real. Lust is shallow. It doesn't see who you are, what you've been through, or what you need emotionally. It only knows what it wants in the moment. Now love is a whole different game. Love takes time to develop. It requires emotional connection, shared values, vulnerability, and trust. Love is slow, it's steady. And it's not based on how good you look in a dress. It's based on how you make him feel when life gets real. A man who's falling in love isn't just admiring your beauty. He's admiring your strength, your mind, your heart. He's interested in your story, your dreams, your pain, and your peace. The confusion happens when women see a man's intense desire and assume it must mean emotional attachment. But ladies, that ain't how it works. A man can desire you physically and still have no plans to connect with you emotionally. He can want you without ever truly seeing you. That's the trap. Lust is about what he sees. Love is about what he learns. Lust might get his attention, but only emotional connection keeps him around when the attraction fades. It's important to understand that lust doesn't require respect. A man can lust after someone he doesn't even value. That's why you see so many women giving their hearts to men who only gave them their attention. Love, on the other hand, requires not just respect, but emotional responsibility. A man who loves you is going to care how you feel. He's going to protect your heart, not just chase your body. He's going to be present in your life, not just in your bed. So when a man approaches you, remember this: he may be led by his eyes, but it's up to you to see whether he's willing to connect with your soul. You can't stop him from noticing you, but you can slow him down long enough to see if he's worth your energy. Because lust might be loud, but love is quiet, consistent, and deep. And that right there is the difference between being wanted for a night and being chosen for a lifetime. Lust wants what's easy to reach. It doesn't come with a plan or a purpose, it comes with a reaction. A man operating in lust is simply trying to gain access to your time, your attention, your body, your space, but not necessarily your heart. He's not thinking long term, he's thinking right now. Lust is lazy, it doesn't want to climb a mountain. It wants to pick low, hanging fruit. That's why a man acting on lust will try shortcuts. He'll charm you with words, flatter you with compliments, maybe even make bold promises. But if you look closely, there's no real effort behind it. Love, on the other hand, puts in work, real work. When a man loves you, access is no longer the goal, connection is. He's not trying to get to you, he's trying to grow with you. Love doesn't rush in like lust does. It shows up every day. away, steadily. It builds, it learns, it listens. A man in love will move differently. He won't just want to be around you. He'll want to protect you, support you, understand you, and make room for you in his world. That's effort, and effort never lies. See, away. There's a big difference between someone who wants you now and someone who's willing to work to keep you later. A man who's only about access will disappear the moment you raise your standards, but a man who's truly committed will rise to meet them. He'll call when he says he will. He'll show up when it matters. He'll invest time and attention even when things aren't easy or convenient. Why? Because love doesn't just seek pleasure, it seeks purpose. Away. It's not looking for an exit, it's building a home. Here's the truth: when something is valuable, people protect it. They don't rush through it or take it for granted. If a man is serious about you, you won't have to beg for his attention or wonder about his intentions. He'll show you over and over again through actions, not empty words. He'll make room for your boundaries. He'll ask questions about your goals. He'll celebrate your wins and support you in your lows. That's love moving, not lust knocking. Way. But too often women give access to men who never earned it. They confuse attention with commitment. Just because he's around you doesn't mean he's working for you. Ask yourself, is he consistent or is he convenient? Is he showing up for the moments that matter or just sliding in when it benefits him? Away. A man who puts in real effort won't only show up when he's lonely. He'll show up when you need partnership, protection, or peace. You are not a vending machine. Don't let a man just press a few buttons and walk off with the prize. If he truly values what you bring, he will go through the process to earn your love. Not access, not favors, but real, enduring, mutual connection. Lust just wants a piece of you. Love wants to build a future with all of you. That's the difference. And that's why access without effort will never lead to lasting love. Away. Let's be real, attraction is powerful. A man may be drawn to you by how you look, how you carry yourself, how you smile when you talk, or how your presence shifts the whole room. That first pull, it's magnetic, and there's nothing wrong with that. What brings a man in can be your beauty, your walk, your laugh, your confidence, and yes, even your body. But here's what you have to remember. What attracts him is only the opening act. It's the introduction, not the full story. And no man stays for just the trailer. He stays for the movie. See, attraction is like the scent of good food. It can draw someone into the restaurant. But if the meal ain't nourishing, if the service is cold, or if the vibe is off, that person won't stay for dessert. The same goes for relationship. What gets a man's attention isn't what earns his commitment. He may have come in for the way you look, but he'll stay or walk away based on who you are when the outer shine fades and the real life moments show up. That's why it's dangerous to believe that beauty alone will hold a relationship together. Beauty is a bonus, not a foundation. A man can admire how you look and still walk away because he didn't connect with how you think, how you treat people, or how you carry your values. And it goes the other way too. A man might be initially quiet or average looking, but if his heart is solid and his actions consistent, he can end up being a man you never knew you needed. What pulls someone in is often physical, but what keeps someone close is always emotional and spiritual. A man who is only staying for what pleases him visually will eventually leave when someone or something else becomes more visually appealing. That's just how lust works, it roams. But love roots itself in something deeper. If you're showing up with authenticity, integrity, warmth, intelligence, and emotional strength, you're offering something that no other woman can duplicate because your soul, your story, your heart, those are one of one. That's what keeps a man who's ready to love. Far too many women believe that being enough means being prettier, thinner, sexier, or more available. But being enough isn't about being physically perfect. It's about being emotionally rare. You've got to ask yourself, when the outer layer wears off, when the makeup's gone, the body changes and the newness fades, what are you offering that touches a man's heart, not just his hands? Because if all he wanted was what's on the outside, then honey, he was never planning to stay in the first place. So yes, let your light shine, let your presence captivate. But don't build your value around what caught his eye. Build it around what will capture his respect, trust, and loyalty. Because what brings a man in might be skin deep, but what keeps a man is the substance beneath it. And that substance, that's your real superpower. Every single interaction you have with a man sets a standard. Whether you realize it or not, from the very first conversation, you are teaching him what's okay and what's not. You are showing him your boundaries, your expectations, and your limits. If you tolerate disrespect, he learns that disrespect has no consequence. If you accept inconsistency, he believes consistency isn't necessary. It's not always about what you say, it's what you allow. And that right there becomes the blueprint he'll use to navigate the relationship. People learn how to treat you based on the behaviors you reward and the ones you let slide away. If a man disappears for a week and comes back with no explanation, and you let it go just because you missed him, you've just told him he can ghost and return without accountability. If he talks to you like you're disposable and you keep giving him another chance, you're telling him he doesn't have to level up to be in your life. Your silence, your tolerance, your patience, they all send a message. And sometimes that message says, I'll take what you give, even if it's less than I deserve. A man will only do what you allow. He might test your boundaries, but it's up to you to enforce them. The way you carry yourself, your tone, your choices, your standards sets the tone for the entire relationship. If you demand respect, real men will respect you. If you demand honesty, mature men will give it. But if you lower the bar just to keep a man interested, all you've done is teach him that loving you doesn't require growth, just presence. And that's not a lesson you want to teach. A lot of women feel like if they draw the line, they'll push the man away. But here's the truth. If he walks away because you had standards, and then he was never planning to rise to meet them anyway. Boundaries don't chase the right men away, they filter out the wrong ones. A man who sees value in you will adjust. He'll want to treat you right because he wants to keep you. And he knows that keeping you means learning how to respect your needs. The strongest relationships are built on mutual respect, and respect begins with self-respect. If you don't honor yourself, don't expect someone else to do it for you. When you speak up for what you need, when you say no without guilt, when you walk away from situations that hurt, you are showing him and the world exactly how to treat you. And trust me, the right man won't see your standards as a threat. He'll see them as a challenge worth rising to. So ask yourself, what have you been teaching the men in your life? Have you been showing them how to love you properly? Or have you been making it easy for them to offer less? Because every time you let something slide, every time you shrink to keep the peace, every time you accept less than you give, you're rewriting your own worth. And girl, your worth should never be up for negotiation. Let's make one thing crystal clear. Men respect what they earn, not what they're handed. This isn't about playing hard to get or playing games. It's about establishing value. When something takes time, intention and effort to reach, people treat it differently. Think about it. When you work hard to buy something with your own money, you take care of it. You protect it, appreciate it, and keep it in good shape. But if someone just gives it to you with no effort, you toss it around like it's replaceable. That's exactly how relationships work, and especially how men operate. When a man puts in real work to win you over, not just your body, but your trust, your energy, your time. He sees you as an investment, not a convenience. He knows he had to step up, show up, and prove himself. That kind of effort builds respect. He doesn't want to risk losing you because he understands the process it took to get close to you. When a woman makes a man earn her she's not being difficult. She's protecting her worth. She's saying, I'm not for the taking, I'm for the choosing, and only by the worthy. When a man gets everything up front with no effort, no emotional labor, no respect shown, no accountability asked, he may enjoy it, but he won't respect it. And what a man doesn't respect, he won't prioritize. It's not about withholding love or playing cold. It's about recognizing that access without effort leads to entitlement. You can't hand someone the keys to your world when they haven't even knocked on the door respectfully. A man needs to feel like he earned your yes. He needs to know that your heart isn't a prize he found lying around, but something he was trusted with after showing he could handle it. Men step up when they feel there's a standard to rise to. And guess what? The ones who walk away because you made them earn it, they were never going to stay when things got real anyway. Effort filters out the weak and reveals the worthy. You've got to stop letting men collect you like a trophy off a shelf. You are not a giveaway. You are not a free sample. You are a woman with value, vision, purpose, and you deserve to be pursued with patience and respect. The man who's serious about you, he'll come prepared. He won't complain about your standards. He'll see them as guidelines for how to love you right. And when he earns that space in your life, he'll treat it like gold because he knows it wasn't given lightly. So don't fall for quick talk and half-baked effort. If he's serious, he'll put in the time. If he's real, he'll rise to your expectations. A man's respect grows in proportion to what he invests. And if you're giving your all to someone who gave the bare minimum, Way. You're not just being underloved, you're being undervalued. So set the bar and keep it high. The ones who can't reach it were never meant to build with you anyway. In a world obsessed with speed, fast messages, fast replies, fast hookups, people forget that love doesn't follow the same timeline. Love isn't like ordering takeout. You don't place an order and expect it to arrive in 30 minutes or less. Love takes time. Real love needs space to grow roots, not just bloom overnight. But the problem is, where too many people confuse chemistry with connection. Just because someone makes your heart race doesn't mean they're built to stand the test of time. You can feel fireworks with someone who has no intention of staying after the smoke clears. Timing matters. You could meet the right person at the wrong time. And it'll still fall apart. You could meet the wrong person at the perfect time in your life and you'll still feel empty. That's because love requires emotional readiness, not just attraction. A man can be drawn to you, even care about you, but if he's not emotionally mature, not healed, or not in a place to build something real, it won't last. Timing isn't just about age or status, it's about emotional alignment. Are you both in the space to give, grow, and commit? Men often feel pressure to pursue quickly, or women feel pressure to respond instantly. Because there's this false idea that if he doesn't love me fast, he doesn't love me enough. But that's not true. Lust moves fast. Love moves intentionally. Lust doesn't need to know your values, your traumas, or your long-term goals. Love does. So if he's falling in love on day 2, but doesn't know your middle name or your struggles, chances are it's not love, it's just infatuation in disguise. Let's be real, anything worth having takes time to build. You can't microwave something real. You don't fall in love with someone in a week. You fall in love through time. Through hard conversations, vulnerability, consistency, trust building, and patience. You fall in love when you see someone on their good days and bad days, when you witness how they handle conflict, how they apologize, how they show up when they don't feel like it. That's love. That's what timing creates, not speed, but depth. Some women feel discouraged when a man doesn't rush in or say, "I love you," after 3 weeks. But often that's a good sign. It means he's taking his time. He's trying to understand who you really are, not just what he sees on the surface. A man who is serious about love will not treat it like a sprint. He'll pace himself. He'll move carefully because he knows that something meaningful is worth doing right, not fast. So don't confuse slow with disinterest. Sometimes slow is sacred. And let's not forget, sometimes we're the ones who aren't ready. You might meet a man who's trying to offer you something real. But if you're still stuck in old patterns, healing from past wounds, or unsure what you truly want, even a good love will feel uncomfortable. Love can't thrive where readiness doesn't exist. That's why timing is everything. You both need to be in the right emotional season. Because when love shows up at the wrong time, even the right person can feel wrong, and that has nothing to do with chemistry and everything to do with capacity. Ladies, let me leave you with this. Lust is loud, but love is loyal. Lust shows up in a moment. Love shows up over time. You can't control how a man first sees you, but you can control how he learns to treat you. Don't confuse attention for affection, and don't mistake desire for devotion. One will touch your body. The other will protect your soul. If a man wants you, let him earn you. Let him grow into you. Let him learn your rhythm, your value, your heart. Don't rush love, and don't settle for lust. Because at the end of the day, what matters most isn't how fast someone falls for you, it's how deeply they choose to stay. You are not here to be a man's option, outlet, or obsession. You are here to be seen, respected, loved, and cherished in your fullness. So set the bar, keep your standards, and remember, real love doesn't start with what he sees, it starts with what he's willing to build. Thank you.